Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Miss Cheryl here. We're going to look at our last genre of literature, an introduction to storytelling. We are looking at sonnets. And we're not looking at just any sonnet, we're looking at a particular type of sonnet, and that would be the Shakespearean sonnet. So let's look a little bit more into this. Well, just to begin, Shakespeare did not invent the sonnet. We all know Shakespeare, he's very famous, but he did not create this form of poetry. He is, though, undoubtedly the most famous writer of sonnets. And that's why a lot of historians gave him or gave this type of sonnet the name Shakespearean because he wrote these so well and so many of them. However, sonnets trace back to the Italian Renaissance, about 300 years before Shakespeare even began composing them in England. A Shakespearean sonnet is a variation on the Italian sonnet tradition. Sonnet is actually an Italian word meaning little song. And the form evolved in England during and around the time of the Elizabethan era. And Shakespearean sonnets are sometimes referred to as Elizabethan sonnets or English sonnets. So again, we're looking at the form of the Shakespearean sonnet, a form of poetry. However, Shakespeare did not create these. These were actually created 300 years before Shakespeare even began writing them in Italy during the Italian Renaissance. Well, let's look at some characteristics of a Shakespearean sonnet. The theme is usually about love. There are 14 lines in each sonnet, and they are typically 10 syllables per line, which are phrased in an iambic pentameter. Don't worry about iambic pentameter for now. If you were in high school, we would dive really deep into this as it's actually quite a difficult thing to do, and it's another reason why Shakespeare was so well what's the word I'm looking for? He was so highly regarded for these sonnets because iambic pentameter, meter, syllable stress is actually a really hard thing to do. But again, don't worry about that for now. The rhyme scheme in a Shakespearean sonnet is as follows. The first quatrain, how many lines is a quatrain? Hope you know that. The first quatrain is an A, B rhyme scheme. The second quatrain is a C, D rhyme scheme. The third quatrain is an EF rhyme scheme. And the last two lines, GG, are a rhyming couplet. The rhyming couplet is usually a summary of the poem's idea with a small change in thought. So we have these three stanzas of quatrains, and at the end we have two lines, which is a couplet, and these two lines almost sum up the poem and maybe have an epiphany kind of an moment at the end as well. Well, let's look at an example just so we're all clear about the rhyme scheme in a Shakespearean sonnet. I'm not going to read the whole sonnet here to you, but I would like you to count how many lines. Are there 14 lines? Because, right, that's a characteristic of a Shakespearean sonnet. And then I want you to look at the rhyme scheme. So if we start at the first line and we look at the first line as A, at the word C, well, we can then go down to the third line and see that C and plea rhyme together. If we start at the second line with the first B, the last word is power. We can skip to the fourth line and see that flower is also a B rhyme, because power and flower rhyme together. So it's an A, B quatrain. C, plea, power, flower. We can go to the next quatrain and start with the C rhyme, which is out. And then we can jump 2 lines below and to the next C rhyme, which is stout, out and stout. We can go back up to the first D rhyme and see days and decays. Okay, and so on and so forth. But we also get to the end, the couplet, the 2 lines at the end, and they both rhyme together. It's a GG rhyme scheme, might and bright. Okay, so just keep in mind. Another thing you'll notice about a Shakespearean sonnet is although there are quatrains, which are stanzas of a certain amount of lines, Shakespearean has all of his stanzas in one large block. However, we still consider these to be quatrains, 4-4-4-2 couplet. Okay. Some sonnets we will look at will have them broken up into the appropriate blocks or stanzas, but just keep in mind that a traditional Shakespearean sonnet will have all of the stanzas in one large block. As always, if we ever have trouble finding rhyme scheme, I will always have this cheat sheet available to you. It just is same thing for looking for rhyme scheme. And again, we're going to be looking at quatrains and couplets within a Shakespearean sonnet. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'm really looking forward to us finishing up Introduction to Storytelling. Bye, guys.